everybody, the Super Bowl is coming up. We have the Indianapolis Colts versus the Philadelphia Eagles. So every time I do a Super Bowl video, you see the entire game. I just cut out the play call selection, but every play of the entire Super Bowl is coming up right now. This has been an exciting season and a surprising playoffs up to this point. We've got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Indianapolis Colts. That is Brady Quinn, of all people, who took the starting reins after Peyton Manning had his injury, and then he had his second season as Peyton Manning ended up leaving the Colts, or the Colts left Manning to move on. Colts they drafted Tyrod Taylor last year, and he could have been a starting quarterback for the Colts. And then they drafted Kirk Cousins this year, because I wasn't expecting Brady Quinn to be good. But Brady Quinn was able to navigate the playoffs to bring the Colts to the Super Bowl with the 6th seed. Whereas the Eagles, they started off, they didn't have a bad start, but they had a mediocre start because it was Tampa Bay that really caught fire early. And then as Tampa Bay started to lose some games late in the season, the Eagles started to have a win streak. They started winning some more games, and they took that first seed position. That is a rookie kicker for the Eagles, Randy Bullock, David Akers. Is it David Akers? Well, Akers, I forget his first name, but Akers was their kicker for many years. He retired, so naturally we had to find somebody else, and so they brought Randy Bullock in. Colts are without Chris Johnson, so there's Leon Washington with the kick return, starting off this game. So there's Brady Quinn marching out onto the field with his team. Some of the best players on this Colts team. You've got, of course, Chris Johnson, who's out. You got Brady Quinn with an average season. But they also have Fabian Washington as a cornerback. They've got DeQuell Jackson at middle linebacker, who's been stellar for them. John Kuhn, fullback, is their next best top 4. And then Jeremy Shockey at tight end. So after the first play didn't go very well, now we have Leon Washington, who's breaking a big run here with the juke and spin move. They can't get him down. So there we have Earl Thomas and Stephon Gilmore just getting absolutely destroyed in that run. There's Leon Washington celebrating, as he should. This is a dynamic start to this Super Bowl. Something that nobody probably expected out of the Colts. You know, you think Chris Johnson being injured, that they wouldn't have a good running game. But look at that beautiful move there to start the Super Bowl on the second play of the game after the kickoff. So Leon Washington found himself a home here in Indianapolis, and he could be the reason why they take home the Lombardi Trophy. However, the Eagles have a chance now, and the game's not won on one play. The Eagles were 11-6 on the year. You see Alfred Morris, running back there, taking the kick return. McNabb has had a stellar season, very good season to end. I realize that the My Franchise tool takes in playoff gameplay into adding up their stats. So this is the ending season for McNabb: 3,977 yards, 41 touchdowns, and then those 10 interceptions. But the Eagles come in this game with their best player being Donovan McNabb. He's a 94 overall. He hasn't really declined, which I think he should have declined with age. There see with a run there. But he's still a 94 overall X Factor. He's got a 5-year, $206 million contract. He is getting paid, and now he's earning that money. There we see the check down to Frank Gore. Then they have Deshaun Jackson, who's a 90 overall. Heath Miller, who's at 89 overall tight end. He's been there for many years. Ted Ginn Jr. at 89 overall. And then Michael Ruse at right tackle. So they're really offensive heavy, but they do have some studs on defense, like you just saw, like Earl Thomas and Stephon Gilmore coming in. Ray Maluga is their middle linebacker. Didn't help them against Washington, but that's okay. And there we see McNabb finding his man, Ted Ginn Jr., for the left side score, touchdown. The speed on this team is crazy. And so we see the Ginn-Jackson combo as being fierce. And although the Colts scored pretty fast, well, Eagles can also score pretty fast too. So there they are celebrating that victory there. And then we've got Drake Kirkpatrick deciding to give Randy Bullock a hug. And as you can see, that roughing the kicker call just makes a touchback more guaranteed. So yeah, Eagles come into this game as the 4th best passing defense, and 18th best rushing defense, and 5th with points allowed. Whereas the Colts come in with the, let's see, they almost intercepted there, just right into the hands of the defender. Colts come in with the 15th ranked passing offense and the 7th ranked rushing offense. Now that was largely due to Chris Johnson, who did have 1,400 yards and 24 rushing touchdowns this year. Very impressive. Leon Washington, who had only 278 yards and how many touchdowns? 3 touchdowns this season. But he is really having his impact known here in the playoffs. So Brady Quinn gets his first completion to Washington with a little running back screenplay there. Gets the ball away. 3rd and inches. Quinn back to pass, looking to throw, and it's not caught over the middle, as you see Pierre Garçon dropping the first down play. The Colts are going to go for it. They think 4th and inches, we've got this. They hand off to Kuhn, and Kuhn gets stopped. Corey Liuget, I believe, comes right through that Colts' offensive line and denies that play. Spectacular defense. I mean, I don't know what. I think it was Onenberger, I think was the one that got beat. So here we have the Eagles in great field position. Right now on their way to take the lead. So the handoff, Frank Gore running up the middle, gains about 6 yards. Eagles have the 4th best passing offense, 11th ranked rushing offense. There you see the passing offense on display with the beautiful pass there to Ted Ginn. And they are 3rd with most points allowed. And there we go. Beautiful play there. So a small run there for Gore. And when you look at the playoff path, I mean, the Colts had a significantly harder time, or really lucky time, heading their way to the championship. Because you see the Eagles had a tough game against the Falcons. So that was Manning versus McNabb. That was a 31-28 matchup. And then Eagles had no issues against Buccaneers, 28-14. Pretty solid victory there. I think Blaine Gabbert was in over his head. And then you have the Colts, who had to go on the road the entire playoffs. They took on their rival, the Houston Texans, in week 1, or the wild card, 3 versus 6, won 14-21. But the Texans, I mean, again, I don't know why the Texans were that good. They just found a way to win with Tavares Jackson. You see the Eagles tacking on that 3 there, and now they're kicking off. And then they somehow shocked the Patriots with that 31-34 game. I couldn't imagine how that... I mean, that was a overtime victory with Brandon Tate of the Patriots fumbling the ball. There you see a good pass there to Victor Cruz. But the Patriots could have and should have easily won that game. That wasn't Brady's fault, except for he did have those 2 interceptions that were off of... He was getting hit, and then Ryan Kerrigan got the interception. So that was a 31-34 victory for the Colts. That was one that they probably shouldn't have won. That was sort of given to them by the Patriots fumbling the ball in overtime. And then the Chargers game. That one, the Chargers take the lead. They get a 4-point lead with a field goal with 25 seconds left. And with 2 plays, Brady Quinn throws a Reggie Wayne pass that was like 50 yards down the field, and he gets out of bounds as they had no timeout. Then he throws another deep pass to Jeremy Shockey for the touchdown. So the Colts have been pulling off upsets this entire time, defeating Brady and the Patriots, Rodgers and the Chargers. So we're going to see how he handles this Super Bowl, because there you see another handoff to Leon Washington, and he fumbles the ball. So there they were about to possibly retake the lead. And then Leon Washington, who made the big play at the beginning of the game, now has a big play going in reverse, fumbling near the goal line, and the Eagles recover. So there we go. We had a touchdown on the first drive We had a turnover on downs the second, then a fumble on the third drive for the Indianapolis Colts. There, we're going to try to get out of the end zone there a little bit. So we have that goal line run with Frank Gore. Give us some space to work with. There we go with the short pass, and of course the speedster Jackson's able to catch the ball and get the first down and more. There we have McNabb handing the ball off to Frank Gore, gains about 5. So a 2-minute warning. Eagles up by 3. Eagles back to pass, looking to throw, and he just does the check down. Safe play there. And here we go with the screen pass as McNabb gets hit. And Gore has a lot of open running room. He tries to do the same little juke spin move that Leon Washington did. But that don't matter. He still gets the first down and a lot more in these last 90 seconds. Now, as for the division breakdown, I mean, the Colts are in the South where they did send 2 teams to the playoffs with the Texans and, of course, themselves. Titans were 7-10, and the Jaguars are 5-12. Jaguars with the second overall pick in the draft. There's a pump fake. McNabb decides to run the ball up the middle and tries to slide, doesn't, but does get down there at the 21-yard line. Whereas the Eagles have a very, very tough division, despite the fact. Oh, and there we go, touchdown. Earl Bennett, McNabb completing that touchdown to basically try to end the half. Beautiful play there, open receiver. Found his man. Now up 10 points here near the end of the second half. But as for the division breakdown, the Commanders were 9-8 with Michael Vick. The Giants were 9-8 with Carson Palmer. And the Dallas Cowboys were 6-11. They were 1-3 with Russell Wilson. Then they were 1-4 with Joe Webb. And then they were... Then they went back to Russell Wilson, who won about, I think it was like 4-3 or 4-4, something like that on his way back. But either way, yeah, and there's that pass, almost overthrown, bad accuracy there. Really let his receiver get knocked. Brady Quinn back to pass, looking to throw, and the screen pass is no good. Now they have another attempt here. Brady Quinn looking deep, throwing deep to Reggie Wayne, who gets the ball knocked out. So as we conclude the first half of the Super Bowl, we have the Philadelphia Eagles up 17, Indianapolis Colts 7. Now, the Super Bowl that was happening at this time in real life was the Baltimore Ravens versus the San Francisco 49ers. That was the 34-31 victory for the Ravens, with Joe Flacco being the Super Bowl MVP. So I guess we still have a bird team there with the Eagles. But there you see the big run there by Leon Washington starting the game. But that didn't seem to have any issue with the Eagles bouncing back, as the Colts have been struggling since from being unable to convert that fourth down to fumbling the ball. Now the Eagles get the ball back, which is not a good sign for the Indianapolis Colts. So here they are trying to extend their lead even more. Screen pass to Frank Gore goes for 3 yards. McNabb, 8 of 8 for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns. Perfect to this point. McNabb looking to throw, and he throws it away very wisely with a man in his face. Did not want to get sacked by Fabian Washington and lose his X-Factor ability, because once that X-Factor turns on, you want to keep it on as long as possible. And then you have Heath Miller getting the first down. Eagles moving down the field. McNabb back under center and in the shotgun, hands the ball off to Frank Gore. Gore's only got 37 yards, but he's been doing his little part here in the Super Bowl. McNabb back to pass, runs up the middle. Big play there. McNabb with 38 yards rushing. This is a big game for him. I mean, last time he was in the Super Bowl was 2003. Now we're in 2013. So about a decade later, he's able to make it again. But the Eagles had been good for a long time. They're one of the most winningest teams in my franchise. I think the Patriots beat them out by like 4 games or something like that. So really, it comes down to the Eagles have been dominant for years, just only making one Super Bowl. They made the NFC Championship game 4 times. They've made the Super Bowl, 03 and 2013. Then they also made it, let's see, when were the other times they made it? And we see the overthrow there. They made it back in 2006 and 2009. And they lost to the Giants, and they lost to the, and then you see that big play there. That's not what you want to see. As the Eagles are driving down, they were trying to solidify this victory. And as I'm talking about the past, we see the fumble by Donovan McNabb. So Brady Quinn comes out to onto the field for the first time this game, or for the first time this half, and there we go. First time this game. Where's Brady Quinn? He hasn't been around at all. No, first time this half. Leon Washington gets a good run there. Then we have the fake. Rolls out, throws up to Shockey, who then gets the big play there for Brady Quinn. 5 of 11, 96 yards. So yeah, when we talk about winning seasons and we're looking at the Philadelphia Eagles, the first year I played with them, they were 16-0. That's where they lost to the Buffalo Bills. So they weren't able to be a perfect season. They got to the Super Bowl like the Patriots did, but lost in that game. You see Brady Quinn rolling out. Nice run there on third down. Then they went 16-0, then 13-3, 8-8, 11-6, 9-8, 11-6, 11-6, 12-5, 12-5, 8-9, and then this year they were 11-6. I think they missed the playoffs maybe once or twice that entire time. So the Eagles have been the dominant team. They have a 122-62 record in my franchise. And there we have Brady Quinn over the middle to start the fourth quarter and hits Reggie Wayne, bringing the game to about 3 points. So yeah, it's the Patriots who have a 126-58 record in my franchise in the 11 seasons. The Eagles are 4 games behind them. Colts are 117-67 record. They've been pretty good too. But now they're doing it without Manning, which is quite impressive. And there's Reggie Wayne trying to get his 3rd Super Bowl ring. And there's that point. So now it's officially a 3-point game. And then we have the kickoff. Back to Alfred Morris, who's going to return it. And there we go, the handoff to Frank Gore. McNabb back to pass. And he throws it deep to Deshaun Jackson, who cannot make the catch. Borderline pass interference there, but it's Madden, so Madden be Madden. And there we go, the deep throw to Ted Ginn. That slant route is tough to stop. Ted Ginn is so fast, just making it difficult for the defense to do anything against them. That little rollout from McNabb I've been doing all season, almost the entire franchise, and just making plays. Here we go, handoff to Larry Johnson. I realized that Larry Johnson's the guy that fumbled the big fumble on the 2nd Super Bowl I ever did, and basically allowed Derek Carr to have the historic 99-yard drive touchdown to win the game. So I realized I should probably stop handing the ball to Larry Johnson. So I gave him a play, but I'm like, he's too gaff prone. He's going to make some big mistake. I don't want that to happen. But that's where McNabb completes the pass over the middle there. Deshaun Jackson making the play. Good looking drive for them. 1st and goal, hands the ball off to Gore, and Gore then gets his big play of the game, runs it in for a touchdown. Big play there, huge momentum driver. Excellent play going on there. So Eagles now get back to their 10-point lead. And so the Super Bowl is a little bit, got some breathing room for the Eagles. So now, can the Colts come up with some crazy fourth quarter victory? There is still a chance that they can pull it off, so we'll see if they can. But they have to start moving quick. So deep throw, dangerous throw, and it's lucky it's swatted away. I mean, Earl Thomas intercepted Blaine Gabbert on a very similar play last game to end it. They have Brady throwing the ball right through the gap there to Pierre Garçon. Brady Quinn back to pass and throws up, and Reggie Wayne has the ball swatted away. Wayne made a crazy catch like that in the AFC Championship game, so we're trying it again. Deep throw there to Cruz, and Cruz comes up with a crazy catch. Bad accuracy aside. Then you have Brady Quinn back to pass, throws, connects across the middle to PK Sam, who was Mr. Irrelevant in the 2004 draft. He went to the Houston Texans for a bit, then he hopped over to Indianapolis. Not a major contributor, but he's been a reliable veteran for the past, 9-10 seasons. So beautiful play there, getting the Colts back within 3 points. This Super Bowl is not over. So a 3-point game here in the 2013 Super Bowl. Mike Nugent does the onside kick, and unfortunately for the Colts, the Eagles recover. There we go, the handoff to Frank Gore. Colts call timeout. You see both McNabb and Ted Ginn are X Factor, so I try to use that. And there we go, a little reverse around, end around there to Ginn. McNabb with 252 yards and 2 touchdowns. 2-minute warning. Eagles have to keep their drive going and not allow the Colts to have any time left because, quite frankly, it only took Brady Quinn 25 seconds to upset the Chargers. So here we go, another handoff to Gore. Timeout. Another handoff to Gore. And he's down at the 4th and 1. They're going to go for it. Because instead of giving the ball back, they're going to try to keep it going. And they hand the ball off to Gore, and he gets it. So that was a tough decision on my part, because I thought if you kick the 3 points, you're up by 6, which means the Colts would have to get a touchdown and the extra point to win. However, I did not want to take that risk. So I figured, you know what? I'd rather take that gamble, and the gamble paid off. The Philadelphia Eagles have won a Super Bowl. Coach Andy Reid, instead of having to go to Kansas City and get Patrick Mahomes to win his Super Bowls, he was able to do it here with the Philadelphia Eagles. So good game there by the Colts. I mean, they kept it close. I mean, being a 10-point lead in the 4th was not ideal, but they were able to tighten it. McNabb and Quinn embracing there for, encouragement. But then you have the Lombardi Trophy being passed along to the Eagles players. They're all putting their hand on it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this season. I know this is an interesting end. I mean, I think the Eagles have always been so good, and I'm kind of glad to see that they were able to come away with the victory this time. Now, Bill Cowher has been coaching the Colts, and he has never had a Super Bowl victory. So I was trying to see if he could possibly get one, and unfortunately, Bill Cowher was unable to do it. I tried doing it with Manning. Then these last 2 seasons with Brady Quinn, they made the playoffs, but they just were not able to bring home the Lombardi Trophy. Still deciding whether or not Bill Cowher retires or not. We'll see even if McNabb retires. I mean, he's 35 years old. He'll be 36 next year, but he's still a high overall. He hasn't really declined much. But great game there for the Eagles, winning the Super Bowl. Here are some of the stats. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like. And then the next video will be kind of a summary of the season, some Super Bowls of past.